Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 content tweaks that you can make to your website to rank higher in Google. Now, before we get into the episode, make sure to check out Action.com if you guys do want a free 15-minute growth strategy call with myself to help improve your organic SEO for your website. Make sure to check out the link in the description. So let's get into it. Now, this is an example page that I have just got on the FatRank website. There's a few things that we're doing right, and there's also a few things that we can also improve on as well. So tip number 1, I'm going to be talking about reoptimizing old content. Now, I have spoke about this in the past before. If you guys do want, make sure to check out that video. The link will also be in the description as well. But the whole purpose of this is to essentially optimize the page after we have uploaded it. Now, the one benefit that you do have of this is if you load up your Google Search Console, you'll see which impressions or which keywords you are getting impressions for, and you can essentially add those keywords and those phrases within your content, right? So if I was to just look at the Google Search Console, so I've got the Google Search Console on my left-hand monitor. If I was to just copy that and search for some of the keywords, so biggest city, that is in the content 9 times, so we don't need to worry about that. Biggest cities, plural, we have it 14 times. List of biggest cities, we don't actually have. Now that gets a decent amount of impressions, so we should be looking to actually add that in. So one slight tip, or one added tip that I would add, is if you guys have uploaded an article, potentially wait about 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, wait for it to start getting impressions on Google Search Console, and then go in and add in any missing keywords that your Google Search Console is showing, like for example list of biggest city, into your content. And then you can just go down the list. So for example, biggest locations as well, that's another highly searched keyword that we are getting impressions for on Google Search Console, but we actually don't have on the page. So tip number 2, now this is kind of like it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, so rewriting the entire article. Now, one thing you will find with content over time is if you have potentially lost a couple positions over a algorithm update, what you would want to do is go and look at the guys that essentially ranked higher than you and see what their content is like. Have they got a bullet pointed list? Have they got a numbered list? Have they potentially got video? And try and replicate what they have done and what you haven't. Because one thing I will mention is if you have lost a couple positions and the guys that have essentially gained a couple positions, that usually means that Google prefers their content for a reason, and you need to essentially try to figure out what that reason is. Do they potentially like shorter content? Do your competitors have longer content? So try and figure that out. The best way that I would recommend you guys do that is obviously run your page through Ahrefs and look who's essentially outranked you, and then start analyzing what they've done with their content. So then we have got tip number 3. Now this is a little bit of a different tip. So one thing that I don't hear enough people speaking about is actually image optimization. Now what you want to be doing is, if you're trying to rank for biggest cities in the UK, actually have biggest cities in the UK in the actual image, and also make certain that you name it in your file name as well. So biggest cities in UK.png or .jpeg, whatever file format you're doing. But those are probably the 3 biggest things when it comes to actually ranking an image. So making certain that your file name is whatever the keyword is. Then you have got the biggest cities in the UK and the actual image itself. So this isn't like text or anything, this is actually part of the image. And then also, if we take a look at the alt text, it should say biggest cities in the UK. Let's just see if we have it. So that's one thing that we should be improving on, is the actual alt text. we don't actually pull it into this image. So just make certain that you have some form of variation of that in your content. Tip number 4 is building more internal links from relevant pages. Now, I can't stress how important this is and the reasons that you should essentially do it. Like, you can pretty much boost the page from position 10 to position 1 just by doing the correct internal linking strategy. Now, what I would recommend for this, without using crazy tools, is go and do yourwebsite.com and then the keyword that you want to rank for. So I've just done best shoes on runnersworld.com, and basically, if we wanted to build more internal links to our best running shoes page, this is showing us the most relevant pages on runnersworld.com for best shoes. So top 10 best running shoes for men should be internal linking to best running shoes for 2024. Now, if it's not, what I would be looking to do is internal linking. Now, as we can see here, it is actually internally linking to our best running shoes for 2024. Now, I would essentially work down the list and start internally linking all of these pages back up to my desired page. So, for example, if I wanted to rank for hiking, let's say, I would do the same. So let's say if this was the page that I wanted to focus on, I would then look to start internally linking to from all of our relevant pages. So essential hiking gear for cross training on trails would essentially internally link from walking uphill, and so on and so forth. Now, some of these blog articles you might look at and think, well, actually, that doesn't make any sense to internally link them. So that's when the human touch does come in when it comes to the whole internal linking opportunity. And tip number 5 is being more multimedia based on your website. So what I'm seeing a lot of is people write long form articles and they don't actually include videos, or they don't include images, or potentially even shorts as well in their actual content. Now, one thing I will say is that, personally speaking, I don't like reading long blog posts, and I feel like that there's a big trajectory, or there's a big trend in people like myself. I'm hoping anyway. So, for example, I prefer watching videos, I prefer watching shorts, and even in some cases, I also like scrolling through loads of images, right? So one website that does a very good job of this is hikingguy.com. So I've just searched how to start hiking, and as you can see here, he has got a lot of images on his website. It's not just a big wall of content. So bear that in mind. He also does brand his images up, so hikingguy.com. hikingguy.com, so on and so forth. So you can very quickly tell that this guy does like his hiking, and he is also including some images, or some videos on at the bottom of his website as well. So just bear that in mind when you are building out a website. Try to be as multimedia based as you possibly can. For example, if some of you guys are trying to rank e-commerce stores, potentially grab your phone, start recording some of the products, take loads of photos of the products. Obviously, make certain when you are uploading the products, you are referring back to tip number 3, which is making certain that your images are labeled up correctly as well. So that has been my 5 tips to rank higher in Google in 2024. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below, or if you guys think I missed one as well, make certain to drop them down in the comment section. Thanks.